act so happy on my pictures so that in a few years when they look back, they can say, well, she died happy. And it was so hard. It was so hard just dealing with that grief because it wasn't like a marriage where you get engaged and you date and you have time to prepare. It just slapped me out of nowhere. And I just remember being in the hospital for my port surgery and preparing myself for chemo and just crying out to the Lord and knowing He was there. I mean, His presence was so thick and so tangible that I almost felt like if I turned to the left, that He would be there. And so even in the hospital, I remember being like, Lord, if I look over here and You were there, I will pee my pants. Like, this is for real creepy. Just like the thickness. And I just had this crazy peace that surpassed all understanding that my mom kept being like, telling my husband, I think you're really drugged. I don't think you understand, what they're telling you. And I'm like, I'm broken and sad, but I just have a peace that I just want to keep going. I keep wanting to do the next thing and just keep going forward. And so that's what we did. And we found out that my chemo and the type of cancer that I have is very aggressive, and that they gave you a lot of statistics, that are very scary, and basically like over 80%, just don't make it, and you just don't want to hear those words, especially stage 4 is inoperable, and so if the chemo just did not do its job, there would be no other option, like surgery. You can't remove the liver. And I did find that out, and so I was very thankful. So that chemo did its job, and it removed. We did 3 rounds, and that pretty much helped me get to a point where I could have surgery. And that was a huge blessing. So they went in and had surgery, and they removed the rest of the lesions in the liver that they could find, and removed the tumor that was in my colon. And then they took my gallbladder, which I was kind of shocked. That one took me by surprise too, because I went in for like the meeting you have with the doctor before, and he was like, yeah, and so read over this list, sign, make sure you agree everything, and it was like, about the gallbladder, I was like, oh, so you're taking my gallbladder? And he was like, yeah, we'll just take that while we're in there. And I was like, oh, we're just going to take, what else? You're just going to keep taking things? Like, seriously? And then I was like, well, how many gallbladders do I have? And he was like, you have one. And I was like, am I going to be okay? And he was like, yes, you're fine, girlfriend. And so that's always been like a big joke with our families, because I was so worried about my gallbladder being taken. And so they took my gallbladder, and you only have one gallbladder, just so everyone else knows that too. I'm really educated at this point. And we ended up choosing to go through a trial that has been undergone at Markey Cancer Center, where they actually implant a chemo pump inside your stomach that goes to your main arteries into your liver. So I actually have a pump pumping saline right now inside my liver. And then when I was off of chemo systemically, they would use the pump. And so after the surgery, it was successful. They got everything that they could see. Praise the Lord. I did 6 more months of heavy chemo with multiple different doses, and it was exhausting. It was hard. I spent much time in the bed. I called it my chemo grave. We spent a lot of time sleeping and laying down and very sick, but the Lord was gracious, and He was truly my shield, and I still somehow just felt like, and when I say He's my shield, it was almost like I was in the fire